Good news, everyone. We don't have to talk about the red pill space today.
Take me far away. I think I've had enough. I can't do no more. I'm finally breaking. You lost all my trust. I'm walking out the door. I'm tired. You keep taking me away.
Microphone check 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the WOLVPVCK podcast, when we talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly topics that happens here in the entertainment industry on a weekly basis, where we uncover the behind the scenes, talk about the ugly truths, and of course, giving us our first perspective on any reaction videos that we take upon it. I'm your host, Wolfson, and without further ado, let's get down with the shiznit. So, just like I said in the intro, no need to talk about the red pill space today. Yes. Psych. I'm joking. I said I'm only gonna talk about those guys unless they really crossed the line. This time they haven't. I'm just gonna spit it out and say, like, the latest thing that they're trying to, grab because their business is about to fail and it's shut to hell. He said he went to the Temple podcast, which is like, okay, sure, go complain again. Last time I checked, Temple checked on you guys when it comes to fair use and DNC strikes, that you shouldn't be doing that. But alas, these are a bunch of morons. They don't know any better, of course. But then in here comes and says, hey, women shouldn't be women shouldn't vote. What? Women shouldn't vote? And everybody's like jumping on it. And so one member of the Timcast that says, like, no, women should have the right to vote. And Myra's like, well, yeah, they should vote. If you were working on a service, like if you're working on a hospital or the army or police and this and that, I'm like, where did I heard this before? Oh, yeah, I heard this from our grifter, Just Burley Fins, right? Yeah.
Emotional, damn it.
They're trying to be like Just Burley Fins, They're trying to be a bunch of idiots and try to grab something until they make themselves relevant again. Little did they know that being a grifter doesn't last long, So, what can I say? And that's as much as I'm gonna talk about those two idiots. All right. Thank God, man. I don't need to deal any more of this bullshit from these guys. Although they provide good content, it makes you want to think about life itself when you're dealing with such idiot peoples or scammers and frauds like that, But, it is what it is, I'll take it. They get content, brings topics to talk about, things to do and what not to do with it. I'm all about it. But today's episode, there's several topics that I definitely want to cover, and most of them are definitely music related, which is my field of expertise right here. And then at the end, there's definitely I want to talk about Starfield, because this was brought up to my attention by my good friend and brother Mike Phoenix Yu-Gi-Oh. Like, shout out to him, man. He brought that attention to me, and I'm like, interesting. We're going to discuss about it. We're just going to discuss. So, without further ado, let's get started with our first topic of the day. So, today we're going to take a look at this video that came across by this YouTube content creator known as Blackie Speaks. I guess I don't know much about him other than what he does is expose certain truths. I mean, I guess he's like one of those reaction channels that talks, and that media channels that talks about like exposing some truths and whatnot. I don't know much about him or his YouTube channel, but it did came across with this rapper Russ. Now, if anybody who doesn't know who Russ is, he is known to be one of the most famous SoundCloud rappers that started off in the SoundCloud era for hip hop, and ever since he came out from being the SoundCloud rapper, he became one of the most big, influential, and biggest rappers in the world. Now, is he at Drake level? People don't consider him that big, but he's definitely big, and he make money and millions on his own. He didn't have to do it by releasing music to music labels. Isn't that wild? Now, a lot of things have been said in this podcast that the majority of record labels, they're a bunch of shady motherfuckers that all they care about is giving you nothing and they keep everything, Some are actually out there. I've done an episode about this, and I've explicitly said the majority, not all of them, the majority. And I feel they're really good record labels that they want to elevate you, you know, which like it makes sense, you know. But Russ is one of those few rappers, one of those independent rappers actually, that actually made to success all by himself without the help of any record labels. You know, Drake's song on I Want It Forever. And there's a verse that he says, like, labels want my name besides an X like Malcolm. Everybody got a deal. I did it without one. That's the part I want to point it out. Labels want my name beside an X like Malcolm. Everybody got a deal. I did it without one. I'm going to be honest with you guys. Drake got a record deal, and he was co-signed by Lil Wayne. So for you to say, like, I did it without one, it's like, bullshit. You had Lil Wayne's help. You had Lil Wayne's influence in your career, and for you to build the career that you have and now have a label of your own. That's why I would not consider Drake an independent artist. He's definitely one of the greatest out there, but not an independent artist. He made himself as like, I did it without a deal. It's like, no, Lil Wayne co-signed. The moment you had an artist co-sign you and releasing your music on their labels, like you basically sign a deal with the record label. It's so facto. However you want to put it. So Russ happens to be one of those rappers that didn't without one, and made a success because he found the formula of how to actually get these streams out, how to actually market your music. One of the things that he did was basically he released a song every week. Every week he released a song until people started to like pay attention, and people wanted him more on festivals and events and show. And then his music started to take off. And then from there, he started to like monetize the music by signing the publishing deals that he found on his own without the help of anybody. And it's a great story because a lot of labels want to do that. A lot of labels want to like, they don't want you to know about these publishing companies that artists can sell and purchase the publishing deals on their own. The labels don't want you to know that. Why? Because that takes away their business model off. And when you have people like Russ doing it on their own and they're being self-made and earning millions, it makes the record labels look bad because that way artists will look at Russ's career. It's like, man, Russ did it on his own. I want to do it that way. I don't have to sign a record label. I just had to find a publishing deal, find a way how to market this songs, and I get it, and I got it, and all the money. Oh, I get it 100%. I don't have to split shares with any labels. Damn, I want to do that. It's a dangerous thing for a record label because that's how they lose, that's how they lose money. That's how they actually lose, their credibility as a record label. And that ends up with people like releasing self-release songs. And then what's the whole point of having a record label? Why? If I can release my song and keep 100% of the royalties. Oh, it's so I could get the exposure, so I could get the money. Oh, okay. But how cannot do that? No, that's slow. We'll give it to you now. It's like, well, I will eventually have it, right? But then it comes to myself. So why do I need you? Bad business for record labels. And that's why record labels do anything with their powers to destroy credibility on these rappers. And these are not just these rappers, these artists. They'll do anything to destroy credibility. I've seen it happen, and even in the EDM scene. And no less with Russ. So I'm going to put out this video so you guys can check it out from Blackie Speaks. And basically, it shows, and Russ, here's the thing, Russ has been notoriously hated in the industry because he continues to expose all the ugly truths. What I've been saying it for the longest time, and keep telling people this is the stuff that really happens on an everyday basis. Russ does it on a higher level because he has the following, he has the voice at it more than I do. But you guys don't believe me, all the shadiness that comes behind it? Well, let's hear from the horse's mouth itself, So let's just go back and check it out for a bit, and let's react to it.
Now, rappers faking their streams, not something that should surprise you. A lot of us are already hip to the game. In this video, I'm going to uncover some things and give you a little bit of insight into how this is being done. Also, going to touch on a story regarding another rapper exposing how he's getting screwed over by the industry behind the scenes. I want to talk a little bit about this Russ story. If you guys don't know what's going on, Russ recently decided to come out and expose some things about the music industry after he was done dirty behind the scenes. Before we move on, just a quick little introduction on who Russ is. I'm sure most people are familiar with him though. Russ is a 30-year-old rapper, singer, songwriter, producer, producer, and
He's younger
engineer.
than me.
Okay, he does it
The
all.
guy's
Out of
amazing.
Atlanta, Georgia. He's a very successful artist in the industry, has been going strong on a big level for over 7 years, and has an extensive catalog and track record. Definitely one of the rappers who I want to say has almost the perfect career. He owns the majority of his masters, is completely self-made, has a strong fan base,
Yup.
sells out tours globally, you
Yup.
name it. Now, the boy Russ recently ran into some trouble with the corporations of the industry, and he decided to expose it all. They play this man like the damn flute, and they were not
Yup.
expecting him to go off like this. They thought he would hold his tongue because that's what most artists do. And to be quite honest with you, that's probably what I would have done, because going against the industry in this fashion can sometimes be dangerous. Now, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I, however, am a realist theorist, and I always like focusing on the things that are tangible and in front of us. However, when it comes to going against the music industry as an independent entity like Russ himself, you are opening yourself up for a lot of things that you might not necessarily want to deal with. When someone threatens the status quo and goes against the corporations, what tends to happen is they become an enemy of a bigger establishment. Now, Russ is someone who's secured his future. He's completely independent, doesn't
Right.
depend on a major label to keep his business running, and so now he's at a place where he's speaking his truth as he sees it because he can afford to do that. Russ has what we call FU money. He's making hundreds of thousands every
Exactly.
single week.
Stuff that I don't have. And stuff that a lot of people don't have. I don't have FU money, but that doesn't mean that I'm not going to expose some of the truths. No, quite the contrary, popular to believe. I will. Because the fact that I don't have any FU money, I have nothing to lose about it. It's like, all right, I'm not going to make it. That's fine. I will continue on and continue to say these shady things. That really happens on a daily basis. I don't got nothing to lose out of it. What are they going to do?
And has been on that trajectory for almost a decade. So his belly is full, pockets good, fan base intact, all that good stuff. What happened recently is Russ dropped an album titled Santiago. I listened to it, very dope body of work. Shout out to Russ for that. Now, Russ's album ended up debuting at number 12 on the Billboard 200, and it pushed over 42,000 first week, which is amazing for an artist who doesn't, number one, have the industry behind him. Number two, is independent, not fake independent, but actually independent. So 42,000 first week ain't bad at all. Now, the thing is, Russ's album actually did 52K first week. And now you might be wondering, what do you mean actually did? The numbers clearly said Russ Santiago debuts at number 12 with 42K sold. Well, this is when we get to the expose, because Russ revealed something that happened behind the scenes, and this is what he said. Billboard and Luminate took away another 4,000 of my real sales over the weekend, making that 10,000 sales total they took away from me while allowing major labels to fake their streams and sales and do monopolistic merch bundles. Only major labels are allowed to do merch bundles because the only approved vendor is a major label vendor. That's a fact. These numbers and charts are made up. The impact, however, is not. Shout out to the fans. Russ also
Holy shit. Oh, he went on. Hold on. He went on. Billboard and Illuminate took away another 4,000 of my real sales over the weekend, making that 10,000 sales total that they took away from me while allowing major labels to fake their streams. Fake their streams and sales and do monopolistic merch bundles, which we've heard this happening for a long time. You know, these numbers are all made up. Am I surprised that he said that? No, not really. I've heard about this, and I'm pretty sure I've talked about, I don't think I've ever talked about people faking numbers and streams. I have talked about like how many streams you want to get for you to potentially earn at least $1,000. You know, that I've talked, which is ridiculous. You know, it's ridiculous that you need to have like you earn per stream like 0.000 cents until you make like $1 million, and then that's when you make 1,000. It's fucking ridiculous, you know? And I'm pretty sure that these labels, what they do is like they bot. We remember talking about YouTube botting shit? It's not that far off from the music labels and doing all that type of shit. I mean, botting? I've been hearing this since I started making music, man, about people botting, bro. And so they can fake their numbers so they can say like, see? And you can tell that it's been botted because you can see the ratio from the views to the likes and the comments. Like you have 10, 20,000. Okay, let's just put it on YouTube's perspective. You have 20,000 views, only 1,000 likes, several dislikes, and like 100 commented. Bro, you're telling me out of the 20,000 views, only 1,000 of them decided to like it and only 100 of them decided to comment? Like if you had 20,000 views and I see that your numbers is like 20,000 views and you have like 10,000 likes and, you know, like 5,000 comments and whatnot, I can believe that. That's much more believable. But bruh, 20,000 views and 1,000 likes and 100 commentaries.
put up another tweet saying the following. One company, PMC, Penske Media Corporation, owns Luminate, the sole company that verifies the data for all the Billboard charts. That's also very true. Billboard, Rolling Stone, Variety, etc. So, Billboard, you know what that is. It's an American entertainment / music magazine. It's been around for a long time. Now, here's the thing when it comes to Billboard, right? Billboard is owned by this company called Penske Media Corporation. Now, PMC, short for Penske Media Corporation, is a digital media publishing company based in Los Angeles. And this company owns over 20 of the biggest media companies in the music industry.
Jesus, I didn't know that they owned that. Billboard, Variety. Wow, Variety. Seriously? IndieWire, Hollywood Reporter. Wow, they actually own a lot of. Damn.
Some of them include Billboard, and they also own the very company that provides all the music and entertainment data in the music industry. This company is, or used to be called MRC Data, and it's a data and analytics provider for the entire music industry. Back in 2020, Penske Media Corporation and MRC formed a data joint venture and started going by PMRC. 2 years later, in March 2022, Penske MRC Data ended up coming together as one company and rebranded as Luminate. So right now, at this very moment in 2023, the company Luminate is a source for all the numbers you see in the music industry. This is where all the data is essentially coming from. So they have all the monopoly. And they happen to be owned by one company which owns the majority of the big media brands in the music industry. He dropped this comment on an Instagram post that was discussing the news, and he said the following: "These aren't baseless accusations. They emailed us saying they're removing my sales. I'm supposed to not say anything. Meanwhile, y'all's favorite artists fake their streams and sales. We talked to that guy too. Y'all hop online trying to figure out why they can't sell tickets. LMA. Oh, sheep being sheep. Also, publications are only posting me when I'm calling something out. Gives this perception like that's all I do with my time. LMAO." Russ continued with this tirade by saying, "I don't think y'all realize how nuts this is. Billboard charts are inflated by fake data, which is being verified by only one company. Luminate and Billboard are owned by the same company." He also put up this other tweet saying, "Watching the general public try to figure out why certain streams don't match the ticket sales is funny. LOL, it's not rocket science. Use your brain." Russ also said, "I dedicated my life to music and spreading a good message, and corrupt corporations are stealing and sabotaging from me, and I'm supposed to shut up because overall my life is good. Man, LMAO, y'all can tuck your tail if you want. I'm not. I'm speaking up for the artists who can't."
Bro, Russ, you're the G, man. You are the G, man. You are the G. And for those Billboard, Luminate, and all those big corporations, you get this.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
Making this video because the first week numbers are in. So first things first was showing y'all appreciation. But the second thing is addressing the bullshit that's going on in the industry. So they've reported that I did 46,000. That's not true. I did 51,000. And it's really not so much about numbers why I'm like irritated with it. It's the fact that y'all are trying to diminish my impact and make it seem like my impact isn't really what it is. So they took away 5,600 of my sales on the grounds up. These are their words, that I'm not allowed to incentivize my fans to buy an album. And yet that is the definition of marketing. And what's strange about that is they allow merch bundles, but they only allow merch bundles if you use the one and only approved vendor, which is a major label vendor. So you can only do merch bundles, which is incentive to buy an album if you're a major label artist. So that's corrupt in and of itself. They also, and you guys all know, anyone in the industry watching this, you know this guy and that company, I won't say the names, but they boost the streams and they boost the sales. The industry allows for fake sales and fake streams to count, but my real sales of real people aren't allowed because I incentivize my fans to buy an album. Nah, Russ, you're actually boosting yourself. Don't gaslight me. Y'all know what y'all doing.
I feel like I've already said this before, how they actually make up numbers. Like, yeah, by boosting their merchandise. Like they do the bundle that he's talking about is that, you know, when you go to the concert, they allow you to like sell real copies of the album, and they bundle it with a t-shirt and whatnot. And they also do that even before streaming. Like if you don't want to stream, and it's like, hey, for $50 you get the actual copy of it, CD and whatnot, and you can get a t-shirt and a signed vinyl of it. Like, and what they're doing, these labels, is that they're counting those merch bundles as a sale. So they count it as a sale. Merch and music are two different aspects of sales. The music is its own thing. You're buying a song, that's a sale, versus merch. You're buying merchandise from these said artists as this. I cannot stress you how the two things are completely different. But these companies are smart enough that they'll bundle it into one, because that's how you get the money. Not only you're getting money out of, you know, by selling their merchandise very quickly, but you're also getting the money out of selling it along with the album or whatever song that you try, and then you boost up your numbers. Because whatever you sell merchandise from said artists that they're selling the album, it does not count part of the album sales. It does not. But when you bundle it with the album itself, selling the album, and now we count it. I don't think that's right. I don't think that's fair, but this is the ugly truth that we deal on a daily basis. The exposure that this shit that happens all the time. You think Russ is making this up? You think I'm making this up? Like, bro, if we're talking about it, it's because we worked in the industry and we know what goes behind the scenes. And we have to speak about it because this is how we avoid these stupid deals, you know?
Just know that the game Russ is playing is, technically a really dangerous game because the music industry doesn't take anyone who goes against them lightly. Once you're an enemy, you're always going to stay one. Russ is someone who's built up enough leverage for himself to the point where he's completely independent of the infrastructure the music industry has to offer. He's done a really good job at cultivating his own system outside of the industry. Now, the thing about Russ right now is he's a break in the pattern. He's doing things independently at such a high level to the point where he's setting a certain precedent that's not all that beneficial for the music industry. If there's one rapper who's a threat to the labels right now, it's this guy right here. And it's not that Russ is a, one-man army who's doing everything by himself, because he has a team of people he works with like any successful artist. It's just that Russ managed to gain all this industry experience by being signed, and he really had no plans to be in bed with the corporations forever. One of the things that he was intending to do was to hold on to as much of his power as possible, and he had this in mind when he signed. Now, as for what Russ said regarding the inflated streams, my favorite part of the video is coming up right now, so that's not really a secret. He brought up something interesting on that one tweet when he said, watching the general public try to figure out why certain streams don't match the ticket sales is funny, lol, it's not rocket science, use your brain. What Russ is essentially saying is, streams can be manufactured, hard tickets, however, can't, and that's a fact. This is why you should never put too much weight on an artist's monthly listeners or their streams. I mean, there's a rapper who was popping a few years ago who recently dropped an album who just canceled his entire tour, and he had over 20 million monthly listeners on Spotify. I'm sure you know what rapper I'm talking about. I'm going to be talking about that very soon. But this is especially relevant when we have, let's say, an artist who doesn't have that long of a track record, because there are a lot of people in this industry who come in with a not so extensive track record, and a lot of times the history that does exist on them is actually a fabricated story that's been closely manipulated and edited in order to make their success appear as organic. So they have a bunch of manufactured streams on, let's say, Spotify, where it's visible, and they build a little bit of fake hype on social media by allocating a lot of their funds towards advertisements, specifically with the help of hip-hop media outlets. And part of building that fake hype, I almost forgot, okay? Fake followers. That's a very big part of it, okay? Fake followers. And so they end up getting a lot of eyes on them at once. Now, let me explain the psychology here, right? The idea is for those eyes to see what appears to be the success they're getting, and a percentage of those eyes then convert into actual listeners. Now, this is a strategy a lot of artists, specifically rappers, are using right now at this very moment. Stream farms and inflated numbers are bigger than ever, and a lot of the upcoming names you're finding out about are on it. Now, a lot of these artists are actually getting funded by outside investors, from what I'm hearing, because they themselves can't afford to do it because, they're signed to a major label, they've spent a lot of their money already, and they're already in the negative, so they don't have the funds required for this. So these outside entities that have the resources help them get their career off the ground, and they're providing them with the money. The benefit they get is that they receive a percentage of their future earnings if the artist ends up being successful. Just like how a record label gives you an advance in return for owning your masters, these investors, they're rich, independent, and willing to blow money for a potential return on that investment.
Anyways, I think we can pause it right there. You guys can, if you guys want to check the full video, you can go ahead and check the full video. I think we already heard enough out of it. What are my thoughts in all of this, guys? It's plain and simple, cut dry. There's not much to discuss about it. This is exactly why I started the podcast overall. I'm not, again, what Russ is doing is a revolution. I'm just voicing that revolution, and I'm advocating it, and I'm like, yeah, go for it. Now, am I going to take part of it? No, because it's a huge monster. Now, if Russ tells me, yo, I want you to be part of this so we can change the industry, and then we can gather up more and more and more people, then okay, by all means, I'll gather, because then it'll be a whole collective huge of artists against the entire industry, and we're going to change it for the better good. But doing it by himself, look, I got to give it to Russ. Russ is a G. Shout out to him, man. He's fighting the good fight. And the best I can do right now is to voice the support and yeah, you got this. That's all I can do, I'm not nobody at this point, So maybe labels don't see this. Maybe they will see this eventually. I don't know. I don't care. I don't work for labels, and I've worked with certain labels, and I'm not going to mention any names. I don't want to put them out there, but I will always tell the truth on everybody who wants to be an up and coming artist. I will tell them, guys, if you don't need to sign to a record label. You can actually do this on your own. But if you want to, that's fine. Here are the ways to go to the label, and here are the ways for you to get signed. And obviously, the whole main product is that your song is the shit. It's next level, and that's what you want. I've already discussed in our previous episodes earlier on. You can check that out on my channel. There are other ways to get to a label. And also, the main thing that I tell people when you sign to a label, read the contract. I cannot stress out how much I keep saying this to everybody. Read your fucking contracts, because 9 times out of 10, people don't read the contracts, and when they hear these ridiculous splits from between royalties and masters and everything is it's how the hell did you let this happen? All because they didn't read the contracts. And then, guys, as a word of advice, if you don't want to read a contract, hire a lawyer. Trust me, the $500 that you get on a lawyer for them to read a contract will save you millions in the future. Because these record labels, they somehow hide the hidden truth within the wording. And it's the wording that's like gets you confused. But that's why I tell people it's like you have two options. Either one, hire a lawyer to read the contract, or two, read it yourself, read it like 10 times until you get it, and then circle the parts that you don't get it. And then go to YouTube or go to these blogs and forums that develop, that are about lawyer based and contracts and what's there are out there. Just go about it and just say, hey, what does this wording mean? What does this mean? And they tell you, I need to know more about the contract. Oh, here's the contract. And that's where some of them may be student lawyers that they're trying to be lawyers, which is fine, because at least they have experience of it. Some of them are actual lawyers and they just help out people, sort of like a deal for him to read the contract, and he'll tell you verbatim like what it means. There's a bunch of things that you can do. You just send it and just reread it, and then you find out the truth behind the contract. I cannot stress how much I tell people, just read the contracts. Even if you don't know, just read it. And if you know somebody that knows how to read contracts, show it to them and ask them what do they think, because it's that way. That's how you get screwed over. And that's why you see rock bands and rappers and other pop star artists getting screwed over later in the future. So what Russ is doing is exposing the ugly truth, which is everybody fakes their streams. I don't know what to tell you guys. Like, it happens. This is something that's now a norm. We just go to these companies that they bought the streams professionally, and they count our sales, and then we get our check. The world we live in. We spend like what, $200, and I gain 1,000. So I made a profit of $800 basically. That's how the money works. That's how this industry works. So shout out to Russ, man, for doing what he's doing. It's very brave. And, I wish that my voice is much more big, that people can really hear about it. And, I can fight the fight along with Russ. But I'm not the only one out there. Exposes the truth about the music industry. And not just the music industry, but the entertainment industry as a whole as well. And there was also another one that talks about the music. I forgot his YouTube channel, but I'm subscribed to it. Like, damn. Like he's also another successful self-made rapper, and he has a YouTube channel and it has courses and whatnot. I don't know. I'll think about it later down the road. But yeah, guys, like this is the stuff that happens on a daily basis, So let's move on to the next topic. More music news. We got two festivals that happened the past weekend that literally went to a shit show. Like everything was just like, fuck, this is the shittiest festival ever. Let's start with the first one, Burning Man. I've been hearing like the stories of Burning Man for over the years, and I feel like it's kind of overrated. And it's basically a festival in the middle of nowhere with the desert and the sun, and then if it rains, there's mud and shit, and then there's music, and then people just take drugs with it, and it's like not my cup of tea, honestly. I don't know what people find it like so. Ooh. So Burning Man was this weekend. Well, this past weekend during Labor Day weekend. And I got some news for you guys. Here's an article from USA Today. Burning Man 2023. See photos of thousands of people leaving the festival in Black Rock Desert. Attendees who plan to leave on buses wait for information about when they will be able to leave on Labor Day weekend. Dude, this is crazy. Thousands of people at Burning Man were stuck in traffic for hours as they tried to leave Nevada's Black Rock Desert Tuesday after being stranded for days because of heavy rain. Yikes. Wait times to exit the site were up to 5 hours long Tuesday morning, according to Burning Man traffic update posted on Twitter or X. Hour-long delays are normal on Burning Man and known by the attendees as exodus, but about 73,000 people attended the annual event this year, and Burning Man took place on a Monday, which was later than usual because rain forced a delay. Wow, so these people were all the way on the weekend. They were stuck there for hours until Burning Man really started on a Monday. Yikes. The mood in the line to leave was as cheerful as the sunny weather Tuesday as campers, trucks, and rental cars inch along the exit roads past a small number of disabled vehicles. That's crazy. Burning Man goers leaving the Nevada desert, which is like, wow, you're in the middle of nowhere. Reno, So I'm going back to Reno. Oh my God. Look at we need welding help. The trailer's arm is broken. Help, please. Wow. Look at that. Like the SUV is literally stuck in the muddy road. Like can't go anywhere. Jesus. And this is the line to get out? What the fuck? This is what we do, guys. Like we're gonna go to the middle of the desert. This is us having fun.
Congratulations.
Great.
You played yourself.
Yeah, people get stranded. People were stranded for the entire time because of the heavy rain. And I see videos of people all mudded up and it's like, oh yeah, cool stuff. And I'm like, is it cool, guys? Is it really? I'm like, I don't know. But that's not as bad as this shit show of Electric Zoo in New York City. Now, for those of you who don't know what Electric Zoo is or EZOO is, it's basically an EDM festival. Just like any other EDM festival, like Ultra, EDC, I don't know, Life in Color as well, Beyond Wonderland, Sunset Music Festival, all those festivals, It's just another festival that happens on New York and it's very famous. And they happen this weekend. But they pull a Fire Festival move. What I mean by logistical issues plagued the festival throughout the weekend, culminating in ticket holders storming the gates. Now, what do we mean about that? Let's continue read on. It was not the best weekend for American festivals, as tens of thousands of BurningMan attendees found themselves stranded in Nevada desert due to flooding. On the other side of the country, New York City's Electric Zoo was plagued with logistical nightmares. The EDM festival was forced to cancel its Friday programming after failing to complete a construction of its main stage. So right off the bat, right there, they had to cancel the Fridays because their main stage wasn't ready. Thus, his music festival, they take 2 weeks before the main thing happens to start setting up the festival itself. I know, because I used to live near downtown. I used to live in downtown. Literally, my building is right next to Bayfront Park that I can literally see Ultra from the balcony or from the pool balcony of my apartment building. It's pretty cool. I save myself $300 or $400, whatever it's called. Like these guys, what happens is that they take 2 weeks to construct 7 stages, and they do it like a next level type shit. 7 stages with lighting and everything and whatnot. And by the week, they start testing the LEDs and whatnot. So they take weeks out of it. Me reading this indicates me that these guys were literally a last minute thing and they couldn't finish it. I don't know why, but that's very unprofessional. Anyways, let's continue on. In the statement shared just hours before the event was set to get underway, organizers blame global supply chain disruptions that prevented us from completing the construction of the main stage in time for day one. Nani? Global supply chain disruptions? Does he mean like, do they mean like weather conditions? Like it was raining and that's why I guess, yeah. I guess for weather reasons they couldn't do it. But then again, when it storms out, you can pull overtime and just like do it overnight. I don't know. The disruption continued on Saturday as EZOO delayed the opening of its gates by 2 hours. Bruh. Jesus. Some attendees report that they waited in line for up to 4 hours before finally gaining entry. What the fuck? But things really came to a head on Sunday when organizers announced that the festival had reached capacity earlier than anticipated. Wait, what? Nani? The festival was at capacity? How's that possible? I've never heard of a festival like this big other than Travis Scott. But Travis Scott is different because Travis Scott tweeted to, hey, if you can't get in, then force yourself to get in. His words, Twitter, look it up. But an EDM festival on that capacity, like as big as Ultra as it is, like it never reaches capacity. And I mean, that's exactly why we have tiers of selling out tickets. That's why we have tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. Like if tier 1, tier 2 didn't, like for it to be a tier 2, they have to sell out tier 1. For there to be a tier 3, they need to sell out tier 2. So they know the capacity of how much they have. And this is like projected numbers that they go about it based on previous experiences, previous years. That this is something being calculated, so there shouldn't be an issue. And if you sold all the tickets that you had, then you should have the amount of attendees that you projected on selling them. So for them to say like it's at capacity, this is some Seth MacFarlane shit. I don't know. I don't know if I just mentioned Seth MacFarlane from Family Guy. Probably because I'm watching Family Guy now. But no, it's the other Seth, Fire Festival Seth. That's crazy. That's crazy. We deeply apologize for this inconvenience and hope you understand that this decision was made with everyone's best interest in mind. Or shit, said organizer who attributed the capacity issues due to the challenges caused by Friday's cancellation. What has one got to do with the other? Okay. Well, Electric Zoo promised a full refund. Well, that's good. The announcement did not sit well with some ticket holders who proceeded to storm festival's gates. I would have blamed them. So, I mean, it's not wrong. It's not right. You shouldn't do that. But, you know, whatever, I guess. I know I wouldn't do that, but these are kids we're talking about. Social media footage captured people jumping over barricades and running past police officers as they made their way into the festival grounds. Concerts have reached out to Electric Zoo organizers for more information. That's crazy. Look at that. Look how many people are there. The cops are like, nope, we ain't dealing with this shit. We didn't get paid enough for this. Look at everybody swarming in. That's crazy. I was afraid this was going to happen. Hundreds of people rushing to the train after being denied entrance to the festival capacity, which is doors opened 5 hours ago, and this is the end. Wow. Wow. The stampede. Uh-oh. I don't know. My thoughts in all of this with Burning Man, I feel like again for these two festivals, they should have like rescheduled. That's their best alternative. Reschedule, and it's like, hey guys, I know, but you know, or give them a full refund. I mean, EZOO did that. Burning Man didn't. I mean, I guess you know, I get it that people with I get that you know. I honestly don't know what to say, guys. All I'm seeing is a shit show happening, you know. Weather conditions, you cannot predict it, you know. It happens, you know. This year it was very unlucky for Burning Man and for EZOO, you know. For Burning Man alone, it's like, holy fuck, guys. Like was it worth going there for being stuck for hours and with the heat and the Nevada and breaking shit and getting stuck with the muddy? Was it really worth it? Like, I would have turned around. If it's gonna be raining for the festival and an open space, I was like, I would have turned around. It's like, nah, fuck this shit, you know. But that's just me, you know. But when there's weather shit like that, like, bro, like just reschedule. Like that's the best bet. Otherwise, you're gonna have situations like this. And from EZOO, they just pull a fire festival. Honestly, like I get the complications of setting up a stage, but that's why you always set up a stage 2 weeks prior. You never do a 1 week prior because you face these complications, you know? And how's it possible that the whole week was raining and you couldn't finish it on time? Like what? And you couldn't finish the stage on time? Well, like again, and then when it stops raining, you can actually do overnights. Like this happens all the time with a lot of audio engineers, like a lot of A1s and A2s, they do this shit. This is normal. So for them to pull it out like this, it's crazy. So first off, first dig move was just cancel the Friday event. I get it. Issue a full refund. Saturday, it didn't open the gates until 2 to 5 hours later. And then Sunday, they say that there was already at capacity, all because of what happened on Friday. It's like a couple of lame ass excuses. And I feel like these organizers are not going to be doing another EZOO next year because I don't think New York is going to allow it. After that shit that just happened, yeah, no. I don't know. You let me know in the comments down below. If you guys were part of that whole fiasco of EZOO or BurningMan, please let me know in the comments down below and let me hear your thoughts about this. So, last thing I want to talk about was this thing that got to me. Shout out to my brother, Mike Phoenix Yu-Gi-Oh. Check out his YouTube channel. Sorry, it's Mike Phoenix Hero. Check out his YouTube channel. He does a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh content. He sent me an RPG game that was just recently released, and it's captured a lot of momentum, a lot of, popularity out of it. I haven't got the chance of it, but it's like playing Skyrim in a sense, but on space. That's basically what it is, And he brought this to my attention, and he says people are complaining because of the character customization. And I'm like, what do you mean people are complaining? Isn't that part of the game? It's like, yeah, but people are like complaining about pronouns. I'm like, NANI? What? Bruh. People are complaining about pronouns? Wait, what? So I had to see this video. Unfortunately, I cannot show it to you, but you guys can hear about it. So here it is.
Gamers are getting pressed over Starfield having pronouns. After crybabies were flooding the internet with complaints over the game receiving 7 out of 10 review scores, now some of these same people are losing it because the game lets you choose your pronouns in the character creator. Cuz that's a totally new concept that's never been done before. I'm honestly convinced that a lot of these people didn't know that pronouns existed before 2020. Anywho, dudes are seriously malding over this, like losing their shit.
Sorry, did you want to get immersed in our world? Yeah, well, guess what? Pronouns! That's the level of our narcissism here at Bethesda Western Game Company.
So yeah, some of these people are actually refunding the game over this and calling for a full-on Starfield boycott, which has got to be one of the dumbest things to boycott a game over. Yeah, give me predatory microtransactions and lie to me with shady marketing and sell me a broken game for full price, but don't you put no blasphemous pronouns in my game. Like, sure, I think it's a dumb thing to be frustrated over pronouns and character creators. And people say us black folks be tripping when we complain about games having limited hair options. But the difference here is that doesn't usually lead to us boycotting the game or malding. We just rock the bald head of the generic afro and keep it thugging. Nor is our desire to have better hair options tied to transphobic ideology. So yeah, I've seen that comparison out there. Y'all should stop it. It's not accurate. Man, these soft-ass gamers getting sensitive over pronouns. I tell you, they never make it in the Modern Warfare 2 lobby.
Oh my God. Anybody who knows about our generation, when not the sequel, the original Modern Warfare 2, I think that's the first game that decided like, I want to play online. And I was playing online almost every freaking day during my college days. When I tell you the savagery from people talking in Modern Warfare in the lobby, it's like, bro, you fucking suck. You're a C word and R word and F word and all that stuff. I was like, damn, son. Of course, most of the time they blame it on me because like I always died that easy. But I was like, I don't give a shit. So what do? I just mute everybody. So I don't need to listen to their bullshit. You suck, bro. Like, what the fuck? Bro. But and there's videos of it. Like this level of savagery of insulting is like the most creative way to insult someone. I didn't know you can go that deep. And there were even times that people get so cried up that they even willing to even, threaten you with a death and everything, that they were willing to kill you and shit. They were even willing to like hire a hacker to find where you are and, dots you. That level. Yeah, Modern Warfare 2 on the lobby, that was pure savagery. Yeah, bro, they would have never lasted in today's world. The people in today's world that would never last that lobby. Not a chance. Different time, I guess, if you want to call it. But still, what are my thoughts on all of this? People are fucking idiots, honestly. There's not too much to think about. Like, what? something that I told Mike is that, bro, you're telling me that it's okay to have a game that is half finished, and then it's spread, and then the rest of the game is continued to spread on DLCs. What I mean by that is that lately there's been a trend in which a game is halfway finished, and then to have it completely finished is you got the 2 DLCs. Those are planned. Game is completely finished, but they want to spread into DLC so they could get more money out of it. So people are okay to have a game that's half finished and spread the rest of the game into DLCs and have the ability to microtransactions.
Gotcha, bitch.
But we draw the line when it comes to pronouns?
Congratulations, you played yourself.
Like, what?
Emotional, damn it.
Like, choose your battles, honestly. And I know what people will say. Like, bro, microtransactions, ever since of EA, nobody likes microtransactions. This is something that's been said before, Wolfson. Like, I get it. I've been complaining about microtransactions before. Absolutely, 100%. EA is a piece of shit company for doing that type of shit. They're well known about it. I mean, look at Star Wars, the Battlefront 2. It's all about that. But that doesn't stop people from getting into the microtransactions. And Fortnite and Apex and Overwatch and who else? Valorant. It's not stopping players for getting into those microtransactions and getting the best looks and guns and whatnot. I don't know what to tell you, dude. But having a pronoun when you're building a character and then all of a sudden, like the character, you want it to be a they and you don't have the option, it's only he and she. What are we complaining, honestly? What are we complaining? There's like 100 things to complain about. This is not one of them. This is not a hill to die for. What? It says he and only has he, his, and she and her, no, they and them, us, we, this and that. Guys, a lot of things to complain about. This is not one of them. You're just a bunch of crybabies, honestly. People don't realize like the level of pettiness this really is, honestly. And to end things up with, the last thing I'm going to talk about is The Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom. Nintendo says, here, let me show you guys. Nintendo says that they announced that they have no plans of releasing a DLC, which is good because that means that the game is finished and, you know, whoever played it, and there's still more stuff to play that. But I've heard from my cousin that, you know, Breath of the Wild had a DLC. So it's like, oh, okay. I didn't play Breath of the Wild. I played Tears. That's the best game ever from Zelda. And they say that they're moving forward to a brand new game in the series. So it's like, okay, so now we know we got the confirmation there's a new Zelda game coming around. So that's fine. This I had to mention it. A flight from Atlanta to Barcelona was forced to turn around after a passenger had diarrhea all the way through the plane. That's embarrassing.
You serious? Emotional, damn it.
What this tells me is that lay off the chilies and the burritos and anything that gives you lactose intolerant. Lay it off before you go into a plane, especially a long ass plane. Which is funny because I heard that the plane was an hour or two in, and they had to turn back because the smell was just unbearable. And I saw a video of the diarrhea. I was like, bro, the guy literally shit in the hallway. He couldn't contain it. Poor bastard, whoever he or she was. I cannot end this podcast without saying this. Rest in peace to a legendary singer, Steve Harwell, lead singer of the infamous rock band Smash Mouth. Rest in peace to this legend, man. Apparently, he passed away for liver failure, I believe. Steve Harwell was a true American original, larger-than-life character who shot up into the sky like a Roman candle. Steve will be remembered for his unwavering focus and impassioned determination to reach the heights of pop stardom. Rest in peace, knowing you aimed for the stars and magically hit your target. Rest in peace. You forever be an all-star, man. He died at the age of 56. I believe it was something around the liver failure. Yep, there it is. Singer Steve Harwell is hospice care with liver failure. Rest in peace to a legend. Another one was taken away too soon, man. And also from Rushdown Records, another up-and-coming producer by the name of Goma has passed. I don't know what went down with it, but he's said to be that has worked with and inspired many people from the Rushdown Assembly and others, and he was just a great artist, I believe. It's sad to see these many great singers pass away. I'm sorry to mention these amazing icons, guys. I don't know what else to say. I haven't watched any movies lately yet. I probably will watch something, and I'll let you guys know what the reviews, and also continue to play video games. And I pre-ordered a PlayStation Portal. Yes, guys, I did it. I'm part of the sheep. Whatever. I'm getting it, and I want to play video games when I'm in my bed. All right? So, guys, thank you guys for listening. And remember, every week is a brand new episode with a brand new topic. So always remember to like and subscribe and click that bell for notification for your weekly episodes at youtube.com/The Lone Wolv Podcast, when you can check all my latest episodes of the Wolf Pack and the Lone Wolv Podcast. Or you can check it out at Lone Wolv Pod. Comment down below. Let me hear your thoughts. Share your experience. If you guys got a specific topic that you want me to cover, please let me know in the comments down below. And I'll do my best to cover on the next episode. Check it out on the audio versions on SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and iHeartRadio, guys, for more episodes. So, guys, thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you guys at the next one, all right? Peace.